craft an impressive introduction for interviews. The sharper your intro is, the better tone it sets for the rest of the interview. Everything you say shapes how the conversation is going to turn out from that point on. So you want to be in a frame of an expert. And the thing about experts is they're sharp, they're confident, and they have a very definitive energy about them. Now, it takes about 4 to 5 seconds for a person to make a first impression about you, and you can't utter enough words to tell them everything about you. So, if the first impressions matter, then it has to do with your tone and body language. It's what you don't say that matters. So, chin up, back straight, shoulders relaxed, and smile. That's a confident persona. That confidence that you exude, that presence that you exude, that tells somebody like, hey, this is somebody I would like to do business with. So that already gets them in the right frame of mind. Now, the second thing is you want to have a definitive persona about you. Do not dance around words. Do not freestyle your introduction unless you are a very naturally charismatic person. And even then go in with a preparation, because a lot of the folks, they overlook this small thing where they're not prepared, and they try to freestyle it, and then they give a long drawn out 3 to 4 minutes long introduction. They're trying to include every little detail. Even 1 minute is too long. If you don't know how long 1 minute is, you've already been listening to me for a minute now, right? The other side is already bored. Meanwhile, you're just stumbling to find words. Definitely have a structure. And if you don't have one, you can use this framework that I'm about to tell you. That will be something that you can hold on to in the beginning. And then I'll also give you an example. So what I do is like I break it down into 4 parts. The first one is I will talk, of course, my name, the title of the company for the most recent role that I had been working with, obviously. So that's the first part. Second part is the most recent efforts that I had been part of, and these are major strategic efforts that are in alignment with the role that I'm interviewing for. So that would be the second part. From there, I would talk about an overall summary of my career distilled down to 2 to 3 core skills only. And it should be specific to the role, and that's the challenge, because at the same time, it has to be broad enough to cover the highlight of your career. So if you can do that well, it instantly demonstrates that you understand your space and your capabilities very well, and you have a really high EQ. And from there, the last part is I would drizzle in a little bit of personal detail and set the frame with the question. Basically, I end it on a lighter note to add some color to the conversation, add some color to my personality. And then this also gives me an opportunity to shape the conversation and take the lead, because I'm ending with a question, which is also important because at an exec level, your interview should not be about them asking you questions and you giving answers. It should ideally be a strategy just discussion where you talk about how you can solve their problem. So think of it as a consultative selling scenario. You need to have a lead in the conversation. So here's an example I will give you with the structure I described. So here's a quick example of that. My name is Varun Kirti, and I've been working as a senior director of data and analytics at XYZ company. Most recently, I've been working on a greenfield data lake implementation and building out cognitive analytics capabilities for marketing and pricing team. And if I think about my career, it can be summarized with 2 things. One is I build data organization from the ground up. And 2, I am great at maturing data governance in large organizations. Mostly, I've worked in Fortune 500 companies, predominantly in the retail space for the most part. I live in Portland, Oregon with my wife and 2 chinchillas. And by the way, I was especially curious because this role calls out for building an organization from the ground up. So I would love to chat a little bit more about that specifically too. By the way, how about you? I would love to know more about you too. So see how I covered just the essentials. Of course, I could deliver it a little bit better, but giving just enough detail to keep them hooked and curious, and then ending on a lighter note, a question that gives me an opportunity to become the driver of the conversation. That's the important thing. So hopefully that helps, and all the best.